I know you're seeing this right now, you might be like, oh my god, she did not teach anything, right? Just quick disclaimer, I made a few mistakes in this video. Actually, a lot of it, starting with this is my peptide bond. Do not listen to what I'm about to say in a few seconds. I literally wrote this as the peptide bond. I should be sued, right? This is not the peptide bond, people. This is not. Okay, so keep that in mind. And I made like another mistake. Not sure where, but like, that's a lot. Hello. You might be wondering why this is here, and like before the lesson, just to be clear, I understood this concept from a really great YouTuber. I'll be like giving him here, like posting his link. I'll try to, or in the description box. Hello. Today we'll be talking about Edman degradation. So, to explain what Edman degradation is, also we are in a rush today as well. To explain what an Edman degradation is, you know how we talked about peptides? Now, bear with me. So you know if like a structure, if there's like a sequence of like 40 amino acids, okay? I definitely lost that. Okay, if there's like a chains fewer than 50 amino acids are called peptides, and the ones which are larger than 50, those are called proteins. Okay, so yeah, just remember that. So you know, how do we really find that? Okay, this is like one of the amino acids in my peptide or protein, right? Also, I really hope the lighting's fixed today. The other day I did not want to watch my own self because of lighting, but anyway, so we're gonna be studying peptide sequencing, the Edman degradation. Yeah, the Instagram accent is back. But anyway, in case you were wondering, this is the stuff that I slept with to get ahead with my academics. Makes a really great pillow. See what I mean? So let's get started with it. And a quick disclaimer, this video is for revision purposes only. I'll be using like a lot of I'll be using like a lot of examples which may or may not be scientific, so please Google on your own terms. And I'm also always in a rush, so please let me know if I've made any mistakes. Yeah. Look closely at whatever it is that I've drawn. Okay, so we are all familiar with this way of me drawing it. In case you aren't, check out my older videos. I made them like last week. Okay, so I like to draw my amino acids like this because it's just so much easier. Anyway, we've learned that this is our peptide bond and my bond. I still don't know the difference, but yeah. So you see, like, you know, that my bond, and then you know a lot of other amino acids. So I'm just not gonna complicate things. I'm just gonna write peptide. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna write it. Now I'm gonna draw more stuff. Introducing you to PITC. Say it with me because I will forget. PITC, phenyl isothiocyanate. Phenyl isothiocyanate. Okay? Okay, what does it look like? It looks like this. This is the formula. I hope I've drawn it properly. This skeletal formulas looks complicated at first, but once you crack it, it's actually quite easier for you to like visualize, hence better for you to just like remember the structures, right? I'm not sure absolutely if my chemistry teacher wants me to remember the structure because I bunked class or I slept in class. I don't know, I don't like him, but whatever. I do this not to like mock people, it's because I like the way it comes out of my mouth. Do not cancel me. Anyway, so this is PITC as in phenyl isothiocyanate. So for our Edman degradation, I feel like I should have written it here. Hold on. Edman degradation. This is our Edman degradation. So for our Edman degradation, we use this stuff. Okay, this is like pretty important, and this is a very complicated process, so please pause the whole thing and just absorb it all in. I'm gonna show you mechanisms, all the stuff, using the green stuff, okay? So just bear with me. Now, I don't know if you remember, but nitrogen, it's got like lone pairs, right? You know the plus thing? Plus thing means extra electrons, as in like, this is how I remember it. If you have something to give to me, you are a positive person for me. So yeah, it's got lone pairs, right? So what it does is that it attacks, yeah, wait, no, hold on. Okay, it attacks the carbon here. So you see like the carbon, right? Like, I mean, think about this, okay? I'm just gonna draw it here. S, N. We know that carbon is less electronegative than nitrogen, and it's also less electronegative than sulfur, right? So I'm guessing, okay, this is my explanation, okay? I just came up with this like right now. I'm guessing that like the dipole thing probably goes here. Like, this is more electronegative, right? So it's gonna have like, it's gonna try to like take the electrons towards itself. So that leaves carbon to be kind of like, I don't know, electropositive, something, right? So it's gonna attack. I'm gonna be very tiny today. It's gonna attack, and remember to draw curly arrows because otherwise your teacher is a jerk, right? This, right? And then it's gonna give it to sulfur. Okay, so the amine group, I don't know if it's called amine, but I'm just gonna refer to it like that. Please refer to it properly. The amine group is gonna donate its electrons to the carbon in PITC, and then the PITC donates its electron from the double bond to sulfur, right? Now this does a little thing, right? Which is, I'm gonna come back to black. I'm gonna draw my benzene ring first because it's just much easier that way. Just the benzene. We got N. So see, the nitrogen is gonna remain the same, right? Because I mean, we're not really doing anything to the nitrogen. Now I would love to see if sulfur's got more. Okay, I think the reason we do not take nitrogen into consideration here is because it's attached to a very stable ring, right? That's why we probably do not take that into the consideration. This video is not sponsored by NASA, but anyway. So S, we got S here, and then this is gonna just end. We're just gonna draw our thing. I feel like we should have color coded this. Wow, I feel like such great timing. Peptide. Makes sense? This is how it's gonna be. Oh, also at the same time, okay, this is something I forgot. I'm not trying to make an accent, okay? It just comes out of nowhere. It's probably not even an accent. Just don't sue me, okay? I get really nervous. Okay, we're just gonna do this. So we are gonna do this thing in like an acidic condition. So that being said, we got an acid, right? And so since sulfur, it's got like electrons now. So the lone pairs from the amine group of the amino acid, it donates it to the carbon of PITC, which donates its electrons to the sulfur, okay, breaking its double bond into a single bond, and then sulfur in turn gives its electrons to hydrogen because he's cute. He's cute, kind of petite but cute. And then hydrogen in turn from its bond gives its electron to the A. Ashia. So yeah, this is my first step. Absorb this. Look at this part as many times as you need to. But you need to absorb this properly because I'm going to erase all of this, color code this, and we're going to get to the next step. Now, let's talk about the product we just formed that I just color coded. Right? I really hope the video, you can see it this time properly. Just absorb this. This is what is up with our construction site. It's been drilling all night. Yeah, that was very performative. I've been waiting to say that. But anyway, you see this thing, right? So, hold on, I feel like I made a mistake. Yeah, I did make a mistake. Remember the H is gonna come here. Okay, so we're gonna call this thing N-phenyl thiourea derivative. N-phenyl, I did say phenyl, right? N-phenyl thiourea derivative, Like this is an intermediate. Mind you, this is an intermediate, okay? So, let's just draw this in blue for like, so it's easier for us to understand. So now that we have this, now remember, we're still in acidic, like this reaction be happening in an acidic condition. That means we kind of do not run out of HA, right? Now, like I said, I'll be like doing the electron movement with the green arrows, so just keep up. The O, so S, my bro right here, it's got plenty like lone pairs. Plenty na, I think 2, yeah, it's got 2 lone pairs. And you see this is like very close to it, okay? And oxygen is more electronegative as far as I remember. NOF, the whole thing, NOF being more electronegative. Now, what do you think is gonna happen? It's gonna wanna give the electron, I mean, it's not gonna wanna give it, oxygen's gonna take it, right? So since oxygen's taken these like electrons, and it's still got like plenty of its own, it's in a double bond, right? So it's gonna give its electrons to, I feel like I said this before, so I'm just gonna pause for like the plot. The H, because it's why? Because it's petite and it's kind of cute, and when everyone wants to give their electrons to H, so then what is H gonna do? Since it's like a humble little princess, it's gonna give its electrons from the bond, whatever it has, because H is not a greedy, so that's why A is gonna get the electron. Now, this is my step 2. Pause it, think about it, because shit is about to kind of get a little more wild with like the next step. There's a reason I'm just doing a video on this process only, because a little mistake that we made. None of you imaginary audiences of mine have pointed me on this, is that there is no O here. Why didn't you tell me? Like, girl, what do you mean? What do you mean you didn't tell me this? I'm like super heartbroken at the moment. I need like, now it's like, I keep on making this mistake. They should have pointed me out or something. So anyway, sorry for the mistake. I will be doing like a segment of this. Okay, so yeah, this is something I wanted to clear up. No, you don't need to see. Okay, I made more mistakes, so just bear with me. This S is going to donate the electron to the carbon, not oxygen, carbon of the amino acid which is attached to like the carboxylic group, right? So because carbon is less electronegative while oxygen is more electronegative. So then oxygen will want to give its electron to the hydrogen and then hydrogen to A, right? So just bear with me as I explain this, okay, because this is really complicated. I got lost once again. This is rough work, okay guys? This is rough work. Please do not refer to this right now. Just bear with me, because even right now I got confused while drawing this. We got our PITC, right? Since this, the S reacted, like gave its electrons to the carbon attached to the oxygen, the S is gonna attach itself to the carbon, which was initially double bonded to the oxygen, right? So which will in turn form a ring. And remember, oxygen gave its electrons to hydrogen, so yeah, we got an OH here. So this thing, like imagine this just went here, like this this slanted bond of NH and R, it became horizontal somewhat, and then you're just gonna connect it. Okay, that's clear, right? Let me know in the comments if it's not. Now remember step 2 again. This is now called a tetrahedral intermediate. Okay, this is called a tetrahedral intermediate. Why? You see, it's formed a cycle, right? It wasn't a cycle, it was a linear structure beforehand. So now that it's formed a cycle, and in the presence of CF3COOH, let me draw the structure for you, because it's somehow just easier for me to write the structure. COOH. See, we got F. We have used this structure before. I think in the BOC, we've used something similar to this. Yeah. So this thing is called acid catalyzed cyclation in the presence of CF3COOH, where N-phenylthiourea derivative turns into a tetrahedral intermediate. Okay, now moving on to my step 3. Wow, I need to get a new word. Moving on to my step 3 is that, so remember, oxygen still got, it's still electronegative. Okay, oxygen is like me, it always wants more. So it's still got electronegative, so it's got electrons. Okay, it doesn't have electronegative. It is electronegative, but whatever. Oxygen will donate its electrons to the original carbon. The original carbon, which was like it donates its electron to this, right? Original carbon, and the carbon in hence donates its electron to the petite hydrogen princess. Petite hydrogen princess, it donates its electron to A. Okay, and I believe. Okay, what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna draw it as I'm gonna say it because it's easier. I feel like I should have done that for the last step, but whatever. O N S, right? This was PITC. Now we got N. This is C. See how I'm drawing this? This is exactly how I should be drawing this in the future, because this is the one which makes sense. O, and I think the double bond forms again. So like, what was the point, man? What was the point? Instead of doing it like that, it looks better if I do it like that. Oh, the point was that we got rid of this, right? We separated it from our peptide chain. How could I forget that this was the whole point? So now we know one of the amino acids which was in the initial peptide sequence, right? Now what is this called? This is called thiazolinone. Also ATZ. Okay, so anilino thiazolinone. It feels, it can be called a ketone, I think. That's why we got the own part, because see, we got our group here from like the carboxyl part, and then here. I'm not sure about this one though. So do your own research, man. Do your own research. I keep on telling this to you. So after this, what really happens is that we reacted with this thing, this is a reversible reaction. So H3O plus. Okay, and the nitrogen is now single bonded to, hold on, I'll figure this out. Now this is our final reaction. This is step 5, okay? So if you can't see the structures, please see it now, okay? Anyway, our ATZ forms PTH. What is the difference, you might ask? It's really slight, so please look at it perfectly, okay? Remember in our first step, okay? The lone pair came to carbon in the PITC, and then we just gave the carbon gave its electrons to the sulfur, breaking its double bond, right? Remember that? So now what's gonna happen is that we still were double bonded to the nitrogen. That carbon was still double bonded to the nitrogen throughout the Edman degradation, right? But in the last step, this rearranges itself, and the double bond is in turn given to the sulfur. Why? Because it managed to successfully score the oxygen, form a very important alias. Think of it as the royal historical, who's the favorite child? The favorite child is the one who married the richest person. It's like that. So yeah, this is my N-phenylthiohydrogenase N-phenylthiohydrantoin. N-phenylthiohydrantoin. PTH. It sounds so funny. Hydrantoin. It is reversible, and it happens in an acid, like in the presence of aqueous acid. Okay? I'm not sure if you guys need a quick recap, but let's get on with it. PITC's carbon, okay? Amino acids, amine group donates its electron to PITC's carbon, which in turn gives its electron to sulfur, breaking its double bond, and sulfur gives its electron to petite hydrogen. Hydrogen gives its electron to A. Okay, so what did we form? Since sulfur gave its electrons to hydrogen, we got PITC, and then the S is attached to the H since it's no longer double bonded to like the carbon, and the carbon is attached to the amine group of the amino acid, right? Now S, since it's in a very close proximity to the oxygen, and oxygen is clearly hot, so oxygen, not oxygen, oh my god, I'm making the same mistake again. Oxygen, and you see the carbon is less electronegative than the oxygen, so the S, it gives its electrons to the carbon attached to the oxygen in amino acid, right? And then the oxygen gives its electrons, wait, hold on, there should be another, it should be like this, right? The double bond, the carbon double bond gives its electron to oxygen, oxygen gives it to petite hydrogen, hydrogen gives it to A. Now, we have just done the acid catalyzed cyclation because it will be making a cyclic structure where the S will be attached to the carbon, which was initially double bonded to the oxygen. Now, this is the amine part that we're talking about. And the oxygen, hold on, oxygen is attached to the hydrogen. Should do it with the red stuff. Hydrogen, yeah. And this is a very complicated structure to draw, so please practice it a few times. And then since oxygen is very electronegative, it will want to give its electron back to the carbon, which it was initially double bonded to, because, I mean, come on, double bond versus hydrogen, clearly we prefer double bond. So now the carbon is going to give its electrons to the hydrogen in the acid present, and then we're going to have the double bond of oxygen back. So what was the point of this whole thing? Oh wait, the peptide, the NH peptide, it just went away. We just were like, okay, I cannot deal with all this oxygen drama, so let me just go away. And so we got this, and then you might think, okay, the reaction's over, right? We got the peptide. No, it isn't, because at the very end, last step, the ATZ forms. I mean, it rearranges itself to give to make a double bond with the sulfur, like the carbon of the PITC makes a double bond with the sulfur and announces sulfur as its favorite child under acidic conditions, which forms PTH. Glad you liked this video. Period. Bye bye. Thank you for watching. Ace your exams or something.